Hey, what's up, guys? Just getting some things ready. Sorry I'm late. What am I, 2 minutes late? You guys will be all right. So I'm just getting my other chat up, moving some shit around, and we will get started. You guys can go ahead and put your questions in the little section there while we're waiting for people to get in. I do have a couple things I want to talk about real quick. What's up, Andrea? So we have one moderator tonight. Scott is not here. Apparently, he was sucking a hot dick and got a blister on the roof of his mouth. So that's unfortunate. Wish you guys suck cold dicks, not hot ones. Anyway, we're gonna get started here in just a second. So I will have a video out after the live stream. Actually, I have a Zoom call after this live stream, so we probably will be here for about 30 to 40 minutes, 45 minutes maybe, because I double booked. Apparently, I forgot I had a live stream today, so that's pretty common. So anyway, I will be yeah, poor Scott. So anyways, I'll be cutting this off at like 40, 45 minutes, something like that. And then I got to go do a Zoom call. And then I will be finishing up and uploading a video that I had with the carbon doser today. I was changing out my CO2 tanks on the calcium reactor and ran into a little bit of issue that you guys might want to be aware of. So that video will be out tonight at some point. I'm going to be up not late working, trying to catch up on some things. So that video will be out at some point between now and tomorrow morning. So anyway, as for announcements, yeah, if you guys look at the bottom of the screen for the next 24 hours, you guys could use the code LIVE39 for 10% off anything or your entire order on the website. And I'm actually working on some 3D printed stuff that will help with some of this coral shipping and with the heat and with the security of the package, because we've been having some issues with boxes getting kind of booted, which is unfortunate, and just been running into some issues with that. But yeah, so live 39 for 10% off. That was, again, is good for 24 hours. And how many days we got left in the month? 3 days. So we got 3 days left, and I will be announcing next week the winner of the $300 coral pack. And yeah, so if you want to enter to win that, just purchase something from the website. And that's all I have for announcements. Let's go ahead and get started with some questions. All right, looks like the first one is from Glenn. He hasn't seen him in a while. First question. Let me see if I can actually click on it. Oh, come on. There we go. All right, my first question. Verminted snails still your only pest? Yes, except for acroport eating flatworms, nudibranchs, and what's another good pest that I have in my tank? I don't know. Everything. What is your pest situation QT going to be for the import situation? I don't have an import situation, so there is no pest QT anything. With imported corals, don't get quarantined. They just don't, because I don't have time for that shit. I'm not quarantining corals that are imported. Those are going to be your general soft corals and hammers and shit like that. Are you are you going to make it as pest free like your 300 gallon? Yeah, it's going to be just like the 300 gallon. I'm gonna mark it as pest free. And I'm probably going to have a whole bunch of nudibranchs in there just for you, Glenn. Yeah, so great question, Glenn. That was good. Let's move down here. Vincent. Hi, Travis. Do you have a preferred method or material for building a nice cabinet for display tank in the living room? I'm not a carpenter at all. So I just do basic 2x4s and plywood. So I'm not a carpenter. I could fix a lot of shit, but I can't. I'm not good at that. I guess if I tried and probably took some classes, I could probably do it. But no, I know some people who use like a red oak and all that expensive wood for cabinetry. You're talking to the wrong person. I would say make it as, if you have some nice furniture in your living room, then make it match the living room, make it look good, make it strong and preferably waterproof to a certain extent. I probably could put some stain or some shit on there to keep it, or at least water resistant. Because you're going to, have spills and shit. So you want it to last, and it doesn't, when wood gets wet, it usually expands and becomes nasty, or is that just that fake stuff? I don't know. Anyway, but I mean, if you live in in a shithole and you got futons everywhere, then yeah, use 2x4s like me, man. You'll be good. What's going on, guys? I boot boxes I send to 2Ps. Yeah, well, I'm working on something now that's going to secure the bags, and I got some floats that will go in the bags to attach the coral to, all 3D printed. I'm really trying to find a way to keep the heat in there longer, because the last couple weeks have been ice cold. And you guys know, if you get a package and the coral is if you get it and the box is really cold and the coral dies, take pictures of, if you get a cold box, take pictures of the corals if they're stressed out or if they're not doing well, if they're white. I work with anybody who has a problem. I'll send you a promo code, a discount code with the amount off. You just have to, have that stuff in a timely manner. I do have a 2-hour window when it's delivered. If you get a coral, you get corals and you open up the box and you're not sure, take pictures of it right there and then, because you'll have that for later, and then just send them to me. And again, I'll send you a promo code for anything that dies. I don't really mess with stuff like that. Yeah, so it's just, I'm trying to figure out a way with the 3D printing, since that's kind of been my thing lately. And I'm really trying to make shipping more secure. The heat stays in there, and I don't have to worry about frags getting chucked. So I'm working on some stuff, so we'll have a demo video for you. We'll see how that goes. Maybe we'll take it to the range and see if it holds up to. We'll see. Let's go ahead and move down here. What's your take on the Hawaii fish ban? Yeah, I guess this isn't the first time I've heard it. I just haven't been paying attention to it. And how long do you see it going on? I have no idea. Second part, and what's your take on the LFS selling yellow tangs for $300 now? Well, I think it's just like the fucking idiots who remember when the pandemic started, who were raising prices on hand sanitizer and toilet paper, all this crazy shit. I forgot the term that's called when people are taking advantage of a situation that negatively impacts their customers. I don't remember what that term is called. It's kind of like, if it was a movie, like there was an asteroid coming and they were saying that, you can't inflate the prices of, bulldozers and, diggers and all sorts of shit so you could dig your tunnel or your hole or whatever. It's essentially the same thing. I think people are taking advantage of the fact that there's a limited stock, and it's not fair. I think that's stupid. I mean, I used to be able to buy yellow tangs wholesale for, depending on the size, between $15 and $35, and we still sold that stuff for like $75, something like that. So the fact that they're getting it so cheap, or if they had fish in stock already for that price and then raising 300 is pretty crazy. But I imagine that you could still get yellow tangs. They're probably captive bred. I'm pretty sure they're doing that with yellow tangs. I want to say they are. And yeah, price gouging. There you go, Andrew. Appreciate that. I'm retarded. Anyway, yeah. So I think people are just taking advantage of the situation. It's not fair. It's not nice. It's kind of like what I say to my kids. Not nice. Yeah. I think it's a shitty move. But if you guys want yellow tangs, I do sell them on my website. It's underneath the tang decoy. We have a 3-inch and a 5-inch. They're pretty cool. They're start off at $4.99 and they're about $10. You can get the suction cup for the glass. You can get the sand bed. You can get the suction cup for bare bottom tanks. So if you have yellow tangs, we also have blue hippo tangs on the website as well, so you guys can get those. Yeah, so it's unfortunate, but people are assholes, so I get it. Next question. How would you pipe a sump in a basement with a tank on the second or on the floor above? 2 return pumps, etc. Any tips? I don't think you need 2 return pumps. I think if you just get one good one, just make sure it has enough head pressure. You should be good with that. I would say make sure you have a check valve on the return line, or on your return lines. Make sure you have a check valve in there and get a good one. When I set up the sump in the basement for JP and he had his 75-gallon on the first floor, we had the expensive check valve. It's like $50 or $60 on Bulk Reef Supply. Just get a good one. Make sure it stays clean, and then just in case, make sure you keep the nozzle somewhat towards the surface of the tank, just in case it does fail. You don't have water, all that water draining down into the basement. So other than that, it's pretty simple. It's just like plumbing it. If the tank was a sump under, in a cabinet below, it's the same process. You're just using more pipe and a better pump for a little bit more head pressure. Thanks for the super chat there. Let me do this real quick. Oh, can I click on that? Wrong chat. Let me go down. What filament do you use for 3D printed goods? I use PLA for anything not going in the reef tank, and I use PETG, PETG for anything that's going in saltwater. Guys, when it comes to, I appreciate the super chat on that, but guys, when it comes to the 3D printing stuff, I've had a lot of trial and error and a lot of mistakes and a lot of things that I've learned and lost a lot of money trying to figure it out. So I'm not going to share all my secrets. Hope you guys don't get offended by that. I've taken a lot of courses. I've spent a lot of time learning, and I've spent thousands, tens of thousands of dollars on printers and courses and all sorts of shit. And it's paying off now. It's just that I'm not going to share everything that I do, but for that sake, filament, again, anything that's not going in saltwater is PLA, and anything going in saltwater is PETG, or PETG. All right. Let me go and scroll back down. Okay, there's the $300 fish. The return lines, boxers or briefs. What the fuck? Hopefully you guys are having that captive bred. Yeah, captive bred. So they are doing captive bred. Yeah, that's probably why they're expensive too. Okay. What's up, Travis? Can we see a glimpse of the high-end frags you replaced the colonies with on the 300? Want to see how much they've grown. I did an update video last week before. I don't know. Hopefully you guys saw it in that video. Maybe not. I can get some pictures and put them on Instagram later in the week. They've grown a little bit, not a lot. I have ripped them off. Well, I wouldn't say ripped them off. I've broke them off the rock a couple times, glued them back on. Big Bertha's knocked off the, what was it? Shit, I can't remember the damn name of it already. It'll come back to me. It was the $200 frag. Oh man, that's gonna bother me. Shit, what the hell is that one? Anyway, she broke it off too, and I actually found it underneath the Lobo. The Lobo, thank God I found it. That would have sucked. Another day underneath there wouldn't have made it. So they've grown. They're encrusted onto the rock. They got a few branches coming out. Nothing crazy. I find that higher end stuff, I think for me personally, I think it doesn't grow nearly as fast as like a staghorn or a green slime or green slimer, and then some millies and stuff, rainbow millies. Those all seem to grow really fast. The Cali tort grows really fast, the Poseidon tort, but some of these higher end frags, I think part of the reason why they're so higher end, quote unquote, is they just don't grow as fast. But it could just be me or my tank or my lack of maintenance or me just not paying attention to my alkalinity that could be contributing to that. I'm totally okay with admitting the fact that I've been slacking on my system. I just have been. I try not to come up with too many excuses. I got a lot of stuff going on, man. And I get down there and take care of the tank when I can. And I'm not here to just a bunch of excuses. It's difficult, I guess, to get in there and get everything done all the time. But yeah, let's go to move down here. Okay. I bought a 300-gallon aquarium that the glass wasn't cleaned for some time, so there is a lot of coralline algae. What is the best way to clean it? Is there an acrylic aquarium? It is an acrylic aquarium, so it will scratch easier. They do make, I want to say that they make glass cleaners or acrylic cleaners like scrapers. I think it's a plastic blade that they're using. Don't quote me on that. I've never had I've had an acrylic tank for a planted aquarium, but I never had one for a saltwater. So I can't really give you too much information on that. I know that in my sump that's acrylic, I get away with using a razor blade if I keep it at a good angle, but I would not recommend you do that if you're not sure how to do it. And definitely a sump is a lot. You can get away with nicking a sump over a display tank. So you're gonna have to Google that or something, man, or reach out to somebody who has an acrylic tank to see what cleaner they recommend, and then go from there. Because I don't really have any information on that. Yeah, price gouging, screwing you. Yeah. Hey man, I mean, I understand people want to make money. I get it, but I think I think $300 is a little excessive. I would say if you're selling a yellow tang average, maybe $75 to $100. I think maybe going up to like, I don't know, maybe $150. I think would be reasonable, or maybe even 200 max, depending for a larger one. But I mean, 300 just seems like a little excessive. But I'm not selling fish, so I haven't sold fish in a couple years, so I don't. Maybe something has changed in the market and the way that they're doing things now. I don't know, but it seems a little excessive though. Hi Travis, my bare bottom tank is 8 months old. Fish and corals are doing awesome. However, my rocks and bottom still collect brownish crap daily. Should I be blowing it off of the rocks daily or leave it? I would increase the flow within your tank. As it sounds like you just have dead spots where detritus and fish shit and food and all sorts of stuff is is landing, just landing there, not getting blown around. So consider going in there with a turkey baster. I did that back in the 125, just getting there with a turkey baster in spots where I didn't have a lot of flow, and then just give it a few blow offs there. Is that the term? It is. It is now, I guess. And then just go ahead and go and do that, or just get some more power heads. I would say get more power heads. Probably a good idea. Plus, that way, if you're using any kind of mechanical filtration in your sump, it will allow it to get kind of with more flow. You'll be able to pick that stuff up, get it in the water column, and it will go down into the filter socks. And yes, Andrew, it is the Walt Disney. Yes, it is the Walt Disney that Big Bertha knocked down and landed underneath the Lobo. Oh man, I remember coming down here. I was feeding him because I don't really pay attention to the tank every day. But when I was feeding him, I'm like, oh, where the heck? Oh no, where's the coral? Where's it at? And I looking around and saw it. I mean, I was assuming it was only down there for a little while. It could have been a couple days max, but got it out of there with my tweezers or my tongs or whatever the heck those 13-inch things are, and glued it back on, and it's encrusted now, thankfully. But yeah, it was a close call. See ya. All right, Jared, you still dosing fuel and AquaPower 2 days a week? Yes, I am. The amounts, what was it? It's fuel is 100 milliliters twice a week. AquaPower is again 100 milliliters twice a week. Sometimes I will bring my fuel amount down depending on how the tank is doing. If I'm already low in nutrients and I'm starting to get a little bit of a dino, which does happen still within my coral that I ship, I mean, until I have like 3,000 or 4,000 gallons, I think that's just going to be a trend for me. But anyway, if I find that I'm starting to get a little bit of dinos, I will cut back on the fuel supplement from Aquavitral, just because it does contribute to that dino growth. So other than that, 100 milliliters is pretty consistent for those two twice a week. Yeah. Oh, guy. Yeah, enough head pressure. That's what she said. Yeah. I was going to go off on a story, but I don't think it's appropriate. I think, nope. By the way, I will be bringing back the podcast. I'm debating on what I want to do. So I would just say this real quick. So at the end of the day, all right. So I have a pretty decent routine. Go to the gym in the morning, work all day, have the kids, all sorts of stuff like that. And then at the end of the night, I have a couple options. I can either come up here and continue to create things 3D printing wise on Fusion 360. I can catch up on some of the classes for for personal growth, organization, procrastination, all sorts of stuff. I can read a book. I can or I can sit down and make a video. So I was thinking about trying to use at least 2 nights a week to get up here and try to do like a podcast style video, maybe just kind of talking on my ass. I know there's a lot of people on YouTube that just do that for hours on end, and maybe I'll start doing something like that just for the sake of having some content. Because I feel bad for you guys. I feel not for you guys. I feel bad in general. I don't give a fuck about you guys. I'm just kidding. I just feel bad because I went from just earlier in the year, last year, just creating 3 or 4 videos a week consistently and just knocking that stuff out, and had a ton of stuff going on. And then I see why, if you see some of these YouTube channels and how the bigger they get, the less content they put out, unless they got a bunch of people helping them out. There might be a solo guy out there who's just knocking it out and doing a great job. But for me, the more I grow, the more business I get, the less time I have for YouTube, and which sucks because the more YouTube I do, the more business I get. So it's kind of, and it's weird. So yeah, I just gotta get in here and create more content. It's that simple. It just can get difficult when you're trying to obviously do other things. So let me scroll back up and see what we got here. Super chat, we took care of that. All right. Jared, do you turn down pumps and power heads at night? Just curious. I used to, Jared. I used to have them scheduled. What was it? When they were connected to the variable module, speed module. I don't think that's the name of it. I used to have my Jabo pumps connected to that module in the Apex, and that was all the programming. You guys saw that in the 125. I did it for a little while here on the 300. Then I just gave up when all the pumps started taking a shit. And I just like, something, I'm done. I just kept them on their controllers and then just put them on random flow. But I used to have the tank go from 80 to 100% during the day, and when it started ramping down, the LEDs, the flow itself would also ramp down to about 30-35%. And hire a kid that will do some basic stuff. Yeah, yeah, my kids already help, man. My kids are already doing stuff for me. But anyway, I used to let it go down to about 30-35%, and yeah, I don't do it now. I guess if I connect them back to the variable dimming module, that's what it's called. I'm pretty sure, for the Apex. Anyway, yeah, you can if you want. Ideally, it's probably a good idea not to have your pumps running at 100% throughout the night. But for the last year or so, I've just kept the pumps running randomly. It's called else mode on the JBOs, and it just kind of cycles through a bunch of modes there. And the fish seem to be fine with it. There hasn't been any issues. They tend to tuck themselves in the rocks at night. So, except for Big Bertha, she can't do nothing. She can't tuck herself into anything. She's so big. But yeah, hopefully that answers your question, man. How do you clean your power heads? Well, up until recently, it's pretty cool though. I used to just put them in vinegar or citric acid, and then with water, of course, not straight, either of those, and then turn them on and let them run overnight, and then go ahead and just kind of scrub them with a brush in the sink. Now, I take them on the back deck with the power washer and put that shit on, put in the good nozzle, and I just blast those bad boys. It takes like, I don't know, 1/10 the time. Super clean, super easy. And yeah, that's what I do now. I love that thing. I was watching the Z yesterday with it. Was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. And it has these nozzles, like these 6 different nozzles. And one of them, they'll do the suds and all sorts of stuff, that foam or whatever. And then you put on the one I used to clean the power heads, man. That thing was nuts. I thought I was gonna rip the paint off the car. So yeah, don't do that, by the way. But yeah, so I just use the power washer now instead of that brush and vinegar and all that stupid shit. Don't even do that. Hey, heard. Okay, he's talking to this guy. I have heard of you soak paper towel in vinegar and lay in the tank. Lay lay the tank on the side and then lay the paper towel over the coral line. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Okay. Okay. I have a Grub's Gorgonian. It's been in the tank for a week. It will not open up. Any suggestions? Check your flow. They're pretty sensitive to that. If they're getting blasted, they're gonna have a problem. Once you starts coming out, if you see any polyps coming out, say you move it around, and don't move it around every single day. Maybe once a week, put it in a different spot. If you start seeing any of the polyps coming out, leave it alone. It will open up. It can be pretty sensitive, but yeah, I mean the grub is pretty hardy for the most part. I mean, any coral any coral can really shit the bed during shipping if it gets too cold, unfortunately. But the grub tends to be 9 out of 10 times pretty strong. But you can only take so much. If had some stuff on my sand bed and tested my phosphates and it was high, I use Aroa Phos to lower my phosphates, and my sand bed cleared up in days. So test your phosphate. Okay. You talking to me? Who you talking to? You ain't talking to me. Hey, what's up, Carmen? Finally able to catch you live. What's up, people? Hey, Carmen. Been a long time. It's been a long time since I've seen you. Hope all is well. What's up, Darren? What's going on, everyone? Hey. What is it in fuel additive that might contribute to dino growth? Any ideas? It's just the amino. It's just I wouldn't say the aminos. What is it? How do I explain it? So when I do the dino identification, when you guys send me your samples and I check it out for you, in most cases, I will, probably 9 out of 10 times, I'll tell people to stop dosing any kind of aminos or any kind of supplements in general. I don't know what it is in fuel that contributes to the actual dino growth. I don't know which part of it is. I don't know what chemical or whatever additive that's in it that's causing it, but I do know there's a significant difference in the how fast dino grows when you stop using it. I haven't dug deeper than that. I just know that that's what I've saw early on, and I've also seen a lot of people have success with that throughout the forums and stuff. So, getting on here, shit. Man, I've been going freaking early shit today, but Yeah, so I don't know exactly what it is in that, but I do know that if you do have Dino, then one of the main things you want to do is stop all additives, especially aminos, for sure. I'm sure somebody out there who's a marine biologist has dug deeper into that. And I've been debating if I wanted to go back to school, but man, I don't think that's even possible. Um, I just I even thinking about it right now. What am I going to do that in my freaking sleep? But it would be nice to know those answers and to have an idea of how it goes. It'd just be nice to know that stuff. But yeah, you got to look somewhere else, buddy. Let's see what we got here. Hey Travis, I did a water change on Sunday. Sand got stirred up, tested nitrates, and encountered a spike in nitrates. But phosphates are at zero point 0.6. How long should I wait before testing again? Thanks. Um, my question is, did you test like within a few hours after mixing the sand? Because you probably got a false reading just from the fact that there were particles already in dirt and detritus and shit already in the water column. So I don't really know exactly. You said you on Sunday, sand started up, tested nitrogen. You didn't say when you tested. I'm assuming you tested pretty quickly. Um, One thing I recommend you guys do is always test before you do your water changes or before you start moving stuff around. Also, don't test anywhere around feeding time or dosing supplements or any shit like that. And then be consistent with those tests and that routine so you can have consistent numbers. But anyway, I really don't know how long you got to wait. I would say at least 24 hours, letting the filter socks or your filter media, mechanical filtration, catch all that detritus and stuff, and then test again. Other than that, I don't really see any other reason why you'd have a spike in nitrates. I think you might just get a false reading, buddy. But yeah. One of your NO3 and PO4 videos says that you have a DIY video to make an NO3 board. Could not find any video. Still up. No, it's not available. The video's not available. Sorry. What software do you use for video editing going to try to make videos? I use Camtasia. You got to buy it. Well, I think you can do a trial version, but you got to buy it. I don't remember how much it is. I think it's a couple $100, maybe. I don't know. It's been a while. But yeah, I use Camtasia. Yawn again. Damn, guys. Sorry for anybody who's yawning because of me. Oh, shit. Yeah, I think I already said this. Hire a kid who'll do some basic shit. Yeah, my kids help out all the time. But it's just not enough. Hey, Travis, I'm using Tropic Marine Pro Reef with small frags of SPS. Out of the box, Tropic Marine measures a 7.2 DKH. Is that too low? Should I bring it up to 8.5? Keep it at 7.2. Well, 7.2. I mean, I hit that today on my tank. I was pretty happy about that. I think you're okay. 7.2 really isn't that bad. Again, it is at the lower end of the spectrum. Ideally, you'd want to be like 8.5, maybe 9. But just don't do massive water changes. If your DKH and everything is at 7.2, then you're gonna have to do smaller water changes if you're going to do water changes, and then use something like 2-part or calc or something like that, or even a calcium reactor to keep it at 8.5. But yeah, if you're doing small 10% water changes, you're not gonna have any issue. But I would not say your alkalinity is at 9. I wouldn't be doing 30 or 40% water changes at 7.2 because you're probably going to get a dip in alk because of that, and you might run into some issues. So other than that, you're good. But 7.2 really isn't that bad. It just doesn't leave much room for error. Again, you're at the lower end of the spectrum, and I tell most people you want to stay in the middle. So if recommended parameters are between 7 and 12 DKH, then you want to stay at like 8 or 9 and just keep it consistent. But yeah. Time to get a solid team, man. Ever think of having a Discord? You can post content in there or make it for those who want to know more but won't be so stressed about getting content all the time. I was thinking about setting up a Discord, but knowing the people that follow me, they'd all just be in there talking shit all day. Bunch of rebels we got going on here. I was thinking about setting that up. It is something I'm considering. You can reach out to me, Carmen. You got my number, so we can talk about that if you want to help out, if you want to do something. But yeah, it is on the list of things to do, and it has been something that I've been bouncing around. I just got to figure out how to implement it without it going crazy. So Thanks for the tip, though. Record a video of cleaning the power heads if you have time. Oh, I will. I plan on it. Next time I take the power heads out, you guys will check that out. It's pretty funny. I have to wear shoes. I tend to put my foot on them and do it. I was using my hand for a while there. Nope, not doing that. I'm glad I still got the skin on my finger. Yeah, things we learn. But yeah, I'll make a video on that. Do you have to replenish your iron weekly? I would not be messing with iron supplement. I know some people dose that stuff consistently. It's one of those things that I've heard horror stories about, and I've heard people not have any issues. I dose it once a week. I just do, a couple drops. But it is in my aquavitro fuel. I'm pretty sure it's in there. I want to say it's in there. And what I would do is before you start dosing that stuff, get an ICP test and just confirm that you even need to. And then, I mean, it's kind of one of those things that you're gonna want to test your ICP maybe once a month just to make sure you're not messing with it because you can overdose that stuff. What's the other element that people are always dosing? That oh man, is it from Brightwell? I want to say I don't know. It's something out there. One guy was just dumping in stuff, not even thinking, man. Fried his whole damn tank. It'll come to me. I'm just forgetting everything today, man. Sorry about that. But yeah, I would at least get an ICP test before you start dosing anything like that. And understand we're allowed to have fluctuations in our tanks. So don't try to chase all these little numbers and put a drop and a quarter of this and this and try to mad science it because you're just going to drive yourself crazy. Just like a long time ago, I learned that pH. I don't give a shit about pH. I mean, it's cool. You do whatever you can. You plumb your skimmer outside, put your CO2 scrubber on there, whatever you want, and just do your best. Keep your pH up. At the end of the day, if it stays below 8 all damn day long, that's fine. I mean, I don't hit 8 ever. I don't hit 8 ever. Not even with the door open all summer long. I still don't hit 8. So, yeah, moving down. Now that you have gone bare bottom, would you ever consider sand bed again? I think I had sand in my first saltwater tank, and that was a 25 gallon. I had it also for a little while in the first version of the 125 that you guys did not see before I created channel. Because when I actually created the channel, I started the 125 again, and it was bare bottom. And sand is okay. I like sand. I have nothing against it. I think tanks look better with sand to a certain extent, but it just doesn't suit what I'm doing. I like to have detritus control. I like to make water changes really easy and simple and get that shit done. By having a bare bottom tank, I get to manipulate the flow however I want. I can have the power heads pointing directly to the bottom at an ass end of a rock structure where it collects detritus and it will blow that detritus away. I can have as much flow as I want to have without any worries of mixing up the sand bed or causing any problems with that. And then when it comes to water changes, it's pretty simple. If you have consistent flow and high flow, there will still be dead pockets within the tank. Like for example, on the 300, the front left rock structure underneath the torch is where all the detritus in the tank will collect. It's in that spot, and then there's one spot on the far right rock structure in front of the hairy mushroom. That's where the detritus collects. So those are the only real 2 spots in the whole tank that I have to do any kind of siphoning, and it's possible because of the bare bottom tank. Now, will I go back to sand? Probably at some point. I'll probably hook up a tank upstairs at the new place that will be attached to the main display, and the whole system down there, and I'll probably put sand in it, but just so I can have it, I guess. And yeah, that was a long explanation, but yeah. I'll go back again someday. Just not my main display. Need help with brown jelly disease. Can't find can't find anything online. Brown jelly, that sucks. There's a few different methods. I know a lot of people do iodine dips with brown jelly disease and have been successful. For me, the only way that I've ever gotten rid of it is to remove the colony and cut the dead heads off. And I tend to do it with the saw, not with bone cutters. I know you probably don't have a saw, but try to find a Dremel or something, because I found that if you try to cut, because you got to cut down pretty deep within the head to get rid of it, and hopefully it didn't spread by then. But I find that using bone cutters on the base of the skeletal structure of like a hammer or torch too far down will fracture the whole colony, and you probably end up killing it off because of it. So use a Dremel tool if you can. If not, you have the bandsaw. But yeah, the only way that I've ever successfully gotten rid of it on the imported system was to cut the heads off, isolate that coral away from the rest of the colonies. Iodine dip, I've never done that, but I know people have and been successful. And that's really all I've done. Continue good flow. And yeah, it sucks. I'm pretty sure it's from a bacteria. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it does. It is from that. Let's see here. You don't have time to go back to school. I know. I would love to, though. I feel like I would like to be able to answer some of these more technical questions, and instead of just guessing or having to send people the opposite way. I guess I could just sit here and talk on my ass and pretend I know, right? But yeah, I would love to go back. Maybe someday. We'll see. Doubt it though. Travis, if my pH is 8.0, how long do I have to dip my balls in the tank to get 8.3? I should have read that shit before I put it on there. Oh man. Well, I'm gonna guess you have really small balls, so I'm gonna assume you do. So probably overnight, maybe. Yeah, probably. That's funny. I was gonna go off on that one. Trying to set me up, dude. Trying to set me up. But yeah, appreciate it. So probably an overnight, you can dip your little nuts in there. Oh man, I gotta learn to read that shit before I click on it. How long do you run your whites? I don't know. Shit. I ramp up for an hour and a half in the morning, something like that. My lights are on for like 14 hours a day, so probably my whites are on maybe 12, 11 hours, maybe 11 hours. I have a pretty long light schedule or light cycle on this system. I like to say that it contributes to the growth to a certain extent. I'm sure there's some scientific, some science backing that. I'm sure somebody did a video on it where they're saying, the light time and intensity per growth. But I've always ran my tanks for at least 12 to 14 hours every day. And again, guys, that's including ramping too. That's not just straight blasting them. So you are getting a couple hours of ramping before and after. But and I've always had pretty decent growth with that. So yeah, I try not to, don't change stuff that works. Oh, let's see here. Oh shit, yeah, we're using words I can't even spell. I have an whatever pora that just won't come out, won't come out fully. I had it for 2 weeks now. My water quality seems to be good, so I don't know what it could be. What do you think? Well, let's see here. So 2 weeks. Water quality seems to be good. So I guess what's your definition of good? Maybe you can put your water parameters on if you put them in now, if you put the water parameters in now, I'll see it pop up on the other screen. I can probably answer a little bit better. But so I guess I just want to know what your water parameters are. If it hasn't opened up yet, let me see here. Let me pull up the other screen. Let me go to YouTube. All right. And let me reset that. Okay. I'm just waiting. Do you put your water parameters in yet? I'm going to go down to the next question. I'm going to come back. Okay. So I'm going to keep an eye on that. And we'll come back. Maybe I can give you a better idea what's going on. Move it down. I have a 2-year-old well-established mixed reef, 0.05 ppm nitrate, 0.06 phosphates. I'm getting dinos consistently. Well, you're 0.0, so 0. Okay. So I recommend 3 to 5 ppm of nitrates and 0.07 to 0.15 of phosphates. So your phosphates are already too low. So you definitely want to get that up and get your nitrates up as well. Appreciate whoever sent that order in. But yeah, so your nutrients are just too low. So get your nutrients up. You should definitely be higher than that, especially for a mixed reef. So I'm assuming you got soft corals and LPS and shit in there. So yeah, get your nutrients up. Don't go crazy. I mean, you can feed a little bit more if you want, but if you want controllability, you can always dose it. I'm still waiting for those water parameters to come in. It's probably already left. Yeah, we'll see. Moving down. Lost some hammers due to polyp bailout. Could this be due to being in too high a light, too into higher flow? Also, yeah, not only too much flow, but how high up in the tank is it? How much light is it getting? I mean, you really have to like a hammer. You have to slam a hammer. You have to literally put a power head in front of it to blow out all the polyps, blow up polyps. So, um, Vince, I saw that, man. I'll come back over to you in a second. Diatoms, okay. Um, Yeah, so I would say check your par. Make sure you're not too high. I mean, hammers don't really need a lot of par. I think average 150 to 200 is pretty good for a hammer. So you don't need anything crazy. And if it's in front of a power head, I would maybe move the power head. That might be a good idea. Let me go back up to what he had going on there. So not dinos, but diatoms. Okay, so diatoms it kicks in when the tank is usually I guess when you go to cycle a tank or when you're cycling a tank and you turn the lights on for the first time, you see diatoms, they pop up. And he said it's 2 years old. How much rock do you have in your tank? Do you have some in the sump? Um, how much fish do you have with your livestock and all that kind of stuff? I mean, your nutrients are already low, so it would definitely increase your nutrients in general. That might help with the beneficial bacteria, because that's one of the things that even with dinos is when you have too low of a nutrients, you're not supporting the beneficial bacteria that nitrates and phosphates feed, which then outcompetes the dinos. So I would say make sure you have enough rock in the tank, and then get your nutrients up, and then your diatom issue should go away as well. So moving down. Rogue aquariums. When I'm doing water changes, I gravel back about 3/4 of the tank at a time. What do you recommend staying with this? Would you recommend staying with this routine because of any potential gas pockets being exposed? Well, honestly, I mean, if the gravel in the tank, I don't remember. I know I saw your tank. I don't remember how deep the sand bed is on that. I know that you had some bald spots on there because of the flow. I remember that. So if you do have an inch or 2 inch sand bed, or even maybe even close to a 3 inch sand bed, you can go in there and I wouldn't worry too much about gas pockets in that. I mean, there might be some in some parts that you don't consistently reach, but I mean, if you're comfortable just doing 1/3 of the tank at a time, maybe just do half the tank and then do 2 water changes a month. I don't remember what you said you did for water changes, but so if you're doing 20% biweekly, then just do half the tank one time and then do the other half the other time, and I think you'll be okay with that. But I think gas pockets are more you're more susceptible to having those when you have a deeper sand bed, 4, 5, 6 inch sand beds, which most people are not doing right now. So okay, so she is putting in her water parameters. Cool. So, um, but yeah, I mean, just do half the tank one time, and then do the other half the next water changes if you're doing 2 water changes a month. But yeah, just make sure you're doing the whole sand bed once a month. That's what I would focus on. And so, however you want to break that up, you'd be good to go. All right, so we got. Let's go back up to that situation regarding the coral. All right, so we got the salinity at 1.023. Okay, so that's already a little low. 1.025 is what is pretty much recommended for corals. 2.6. I know you can get down to 2.3 and be okay. So, what else you got there? What's your temp? Yeah, what's your alkalinity, your calcium, stuff like that, magnesium, and yeah, I like to treat those corals like I treat goniopora. Is that what it is? Yeah, gonioporas. Um, they don't require a ton of flow. the way I have mine set up on the 300s is I have it in the very front bottom left side. You can even see it on the video now, where the blue hippo tang just swam by. It's right there at the very bottom in the front. So you notice that there's no power heads anywhere near that coral, besides way in the back. So it shoots flow around. So all the flow that coral gets is going to be not direct flow, but it's going to be it would have had to bounce off a few other things. So if it won't, if did it now, the question is, did it open up before? Because you said you have one. You didn't say I've had it. Okay, had it for over 2 weeks now. Okay, so you just got it. All right. So let's see. What's a good calcium and alk? I will test tonight. Okay, 1 second there. So if you had it for 2 weeks and it hasn't opened up yet, then check the flow. It might be getting too much flow. It's pretty common for that coral to be pissed off. Again, don't blast it. Treat it like a Goniopora. I'm gonna burp, and you'll be good to go. Now, you also ask, what is a good calcium and alk? I will test tonight. Never in my tank, but was open at the store. Okay, so it was open in the store. All right. So I'm thinking there's a few things. So either your flow, maybe get too much flow, maybe it's getting too much light, and also your water parameters are a little off. I know that your salinity is a little low. Again, 1.025 to 2.6 is what I recommend. 2.5 is pretty safe, but before you make any changes to your salinity, double check your whatever you're testing for salinity. If you're using a refractometer or you have the Milwaukee, just make sure it's calibrated, whatever you're doing. And that goes for everybody. If you notice one day, and I do this too in the fish room, if you notice that one day that your I gotta click on this, that your salinity is like lower or higher for some reason, and you're like, what the heck, I want to make some changes. Well, before you make any changes to that tank by either putting salt in or doing water change or something, just recalibrate whatever you're using for your testing method. Because I did it the other day. I tested my tank with a Milwaukee, and I'm like, I'm at 1.030. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, why is it so high? Just the other day I was at 1.026, and then I was like, something, before I do anything, let me recalibrate. So I did, and then it was 1.026. So just remember that before you make any changes on your salinity. And that really goes for all your water parameters. Is just make sure you either double check or use multiple test kits before making any jumps or changes in specifically salinity and your alkalinity. So anyway, so your salinity is a little low. We just established that. And as for recommended calcium and alkalinity, again, we want to stay in the middle between the extremes of 7 and 12 DKH. Try to stay at like 8 or 9. Keep it consistent. Not so much the number that matters. It's just the consistency of that. And calcium, about 400, 420 is about average. But I've had calcium at 5 something and had no issues. I would say be more consistent with your alkalinity and you'd be all right. So yeah, I wish I could give you an answer. I just treat these corals just like, they practically look like a Goniopora. So I treat them the same way. I never give them direct flow. And yeah, so, but yeah, anyways, moving on. We got a super chat. Okay. Unblock. You want me to unblock Angry Owl? I guess I can do that. Give me a second. Let me go and block him. As long, I guess, I don't really care. He's fun. Shit, I can't do that right now. I have to do it after. Tell him to get on one of his other fake accounts and get in the live stream if he really wants to. I do get videos sent to me of him trolling other YouTubers, which is fucking hilarious. But so you guys are always sending me stuff. It's funny. And I lost where the hell I was. Appreciate that, guys. I lost where I was. All right, not going back to school. Vincent, 2-year-old established tank. Shit. Okay. Give me a second. Okay, so we got the sandbed. All right, I'm back where I'm at. Thanks for super chat, by the way. I don't know if I told you that, Kevin. You didn't have to pay me to ask that question, by the way. You could have just asked in the chat. I would have got to it, but I appreciate it anyways. The only time you have to pay me to talk to me is Zoom calls. So you can always block again. Yes, he's funny. Dude, you don't have to just put it in the chat, man. You don't have to pay me for that, man. I appreciate it though, but you know, you can just put that in the chat. I will unblock him after this stream because it's been a while since I've had him here. And I mean, I don't miss the guy. I mean, I kind of do. I mean, it's like a little brother. Not as funny. Ugly as shit, but you know, we're all ugly. It happens. Anyway, moving on. I have a 2-year-old well-established mixed reef. I'm getting diatoms, brown, dusty, and a sand. But didn't I just fucking answer this? Okay, am I losing my mind? I swear to God, I just answered this. Fuck. Okay. Whew. Andrew, help me out. Didn't I just answer this? I swear to God, I'm scrolling up. I swear to God, I just talked about this. Vince, I've answered a lot of your questions, man. If you're in here fucking asking the same one in 3 different ways, we're gonna have problems. I did. Okay. Okay. It wasn't this one though, right? No. Oh man. Yikes. All right, cool. Yeah, Carmen, just hit me up. I don't know. Was that you texting me? Maybe. Let me check. Maybe it was you. Nope, it wasn't. It was Andrea. Andrea talking shit. He did rephrase it. I hope I answered it. Anyways. Yes, iodine. You're right. Iodine is the other from Brightwell sells it. They sell it's where I use it here. It's their iodine. But I know a guy who just was religious every day dosing that iodine supplement to his refugium. And yeah, I mean his macroalgae didn't grow that great after he killed his fucking tank. So just be careful, guys, with all this number chasing and stuff. And trust me, I mean that's part of the hobby. We all like to chase numbers. We all like to, you know, have fun and try to make our tanks perfect. But the reality is, if you spend too much time trying to make it perfect, you're probably going to kill it. Had pretty good chance of that. So seen it a few times. Glenn's back. I just got my 2.5-year-old girl in bed. What the fuck? I just got my 2.5-year-old girl in bed. First night ever in here. Big girl bed. Y'all wish me luck. Oh, okay. Good luck. I thought you were trying to be an asshole again. I was getting ready for it. Well, hey, good luck, man. I put well, we got the railings for ours, but yeah, you definitely gotta be rolling out of bed at that age. Let's see here, and hopefully you got I've learned this too, the mattress, it's not the sheet, it's the cover, the waterproof cover. They're only like, for a twin bed, they're like what, $16 or something like that on Amazon or something. Well worth it. So maybe, I don't know if you've done that yet, but I do. Okay. I just saved all my Ophelia from brown jelly by blowing it off the coral and doing a 2-stage dip and putting in a fresh frag tank with ultra low nutrient water. All of them are covered. Okay, well, hey, that's good. Somebody who has been successful doing it another way, other than cutting off the head itself, which is, I mean, the way he sounds a lot less stressful. So, yeah. And so whoever asked that question previously, I don't remember, go ahead and check that out. I appreciate everybody being here for the stream. You can hit the thumbs up if you feel like it. Did anybody? Yeah. So hit it up. Do you use an iodine test kit? I do not. I use ICP test once every 2 months or so, just to kind of see where my iodine is at, and then I make adjustments from there. Let's go ahead. We are going, man, it's already been an hour. Holy shit. All right. Well, let me do a few more because I got that Zoom call. Shit, man. Has it already been an hour for real? Man, I'm not even doing drugs and I can't remember even talking for an hour. Holy shit. Anyway, wow, 53 minutes. Damn, time flies when you're talking out your ass, I guess. Let's go ahead and see what we can get through here. Let me get through a few more of these questions. I don't want to skim through. So we already talked about Courtney's stuff. Vince, man, you got a lot going on here, man. Let's see here. I scroll all the way down. All right, Kevin's first one. I'm trying to do a few more minutes to get this through. Okay, I want to change out half my rock. I don't like the setup. I know I have to cure the rock. My question is, will my nitrates jump around big time? I don't know. I mean, if you want to change out half your rock, why do you want to change it out? Is it dirty? Is there something wrong with it? What's the reason behind it? You just don't like the setup? Okay. I don't know if there was something else. There was another reason behind it other than they just didn't like the way it looked. So I don't anticipate your nitrates jumping. I think you should cure the rock beforehand. I think you should be, if you just do that separately, you will be good. There won't be really much of a transition because you will have the beneficial bacteria already set up. So yeah, so I don't think you're going to really worry about it. But just in case, Hunter, when you do swap out all your rock, just cut your feeding back a little bit, give the tank a little bit of time to adjust to the bio load, and you should be fine. I wouldn't worry about it too much. Let me go and get through a few of these. I'm going to do 1 hour, guys. So we got 6 minutes left. That's crazy. That went by really quick. Damn. Can't believe it's been an hour already. Jeez. Anyway, I have a spirit worm on my affiliate and in my return pump and everywhere else. Is there any way to you can remove it? I have no idea. I don't know. Can you manually remove them? Can you scrape them off? A spirit worm. What the fuck? Let me look that up, man. I mean, is it kind of like a tube worm? Let me look it up. This better not be a porn site. Saltwater. I don't know why every time I type in something, it goes straight to Pornhub. I don't get it. I don't even go there that much. Well, that's creepy looking. What the fuck that is? Hey, send me a picture of them. Hassan, send me an email with a picture of these damn worms. FishOfHex@gmail.com. I'll get back to you real quick. Just send it to me. Okay. I'll give you a better idea. All right. Okay. I replaced my Red Sea mag reagents, and the old kit was reading 1200, and my new set 1600. What to believe? Well, this is where you get another test kit. Third time's a charm, man. Or get 2 more of them, or try different test kits, and then just do an average of the numbers there. That sucks. I've had that happen before too. What's the best way to convince your husband to start a tank? I try to say it's for the kids, but it doesn't work. Well, I know how he is. I know how Sean is. So if you show passion in it, I'm sure, Carmen, I'm sure that he will go along with it. Just don't expect him to fund it, I suppose. So, I mean, yeah, start off small and start simple, and I think he'll come around to it. I know how he is, so I would do that, man. Do that. I didn't mean to say man, but it's just a habit. But yeah, try it out. We can just tell him Travis said so, or I'll just I'll hook you up, get some wholesale stuff for you. Any good recommendations? I'm trying to relocate a rose bubble tip from my return nozzle in the display tank. Can you take the nozzle off? Is it just lock line? Because if you can take the nozzle off, then once you get it off there, I wouldn't take it out of the tank, or if you are, bring it over to like a bowl of water, but then just rub your thumb at the foot of the anemone, and it will eventually release. Or you can do it there in the tank. Just I would hesitate to do it in the tank at the top like that, just because if it falls off, you don't want to get sucked into a power head. So if you are going to do that, turn the power heads off. That way it doesn't kind of float around and get sucked up. Thoughts on moonlighting running all night? Moonlights, I have them on the 300. No thoughts on it. They look cool. That's it. That's all I know. Travis. Hi, Travis. How do you quarantine the hermit crab? Any freshwater dip? I don't do freshwater dip on hermit crabs. I simply put them in a tank with no copper, no medication, and I just observe them. Usually I do about a month, because if they do have the ick parasite on them or in the shell or whatever water they came in, it has a chance to kind of fall off, go through its life cycle, and die without having a host. So that seems to be beneficial. Also, you can catch aptasia usually in that time. And yeah. Hello, Nicole. Let's see here. Can you always? Oh, we already got this one. Can you always block him again? Yeah, I'll take care of that. Andrew, remind me to unblock him unless you can do it. Yeah, if you can unblock fuckface. What is his name again? What's his name again? Yeah, if you want to take care of it. If not, I'll get it later. Oh, I have to run through here. Man, we're running out to it. 2 minutes, 1 minute left here. Okay. Hey, Travis, have you ever had a clam hitchhikers? My Goniapora was receding, and I noticed a clam mouth opening. Yeah, don't worry about it. No, it's just a clam. I wouldn't worry about it. It's a filter feeder. You're good. I don't think there's any issues with that. Okay, sorry, I retracted my question earlier. Sorry, I retracted my question earlier and it stayed on your end for some reason. That's okay. That's no problem, Vince. Iodine, will that hurt fish? And I mean, I guess in higher doses it will. It's not something. I mean, if you put them in a solution of iodine, I'm sure it'll be a problem. But I'm more concerned about the coral when you overdose it. Yeah, right. He's right. Yeah, stay away from iodine. Yeah, it's one of those things that, I mean, you can dose it, but you got to be careful. Like I said, I've seen people kill their tanks with it. It could go south pretty quickly, and it's only drops. I mean, these are drops that significantly change the tank. Man, I hate to rush the fuck out of here, but I gotta get that call. Let me email him and make sure, unless he's here. Let me see if he's here. Sounds good. Thank you. Okay, Alex. Alex, are you here? Alex, you in the live chat? Are you here? You should be, motherfucker. Okay. I gotta go do that Zoom call. So he's paying the bills, man. I gotta do it. So let me just shit, man. I feel bad. I'm still 10 minutes behind schedule on questions. I feel bad. What's your contingency plan for power outages? I have a generator. At the new house, I'll have an automatic generator. Man, I'm missing a whole bunch of stuff. Cole's lighting up my shit, man. What the hell? What's the big fish behind the tank? The tank behind that is a Vlamingi tang. Hold out, leave it alone. Bluetooth. Okay, yeah. Feed my what the hell? Fed my puffer clams. Puffers didn't eat one. How long can clams stay in salt water? Well, is it just regular clams at the store kind of thing? I mean, you probably want to get it out if it's not eating them and they're dead. You might want to get it out before it rots. I think. Oh, you are here, Alex. Okay. Oh, okay, Alex, you're here. Okay, let me go up and just get a couple more of these questions, man, and we'll hop over and get that done for you. All right. Let me just go get a couple more of these, and we'll go take care of that. How often did you feed Reggie the snowflake eel when you had him? After 2 long months, I got my blue ribbon eel to eat frozen foods. I am curious how often you fed eels. I fed him at least twice a week, and it was silver sides. And I'm getting another eel. I've been wanting one so bad, so I'm gonna get another eel. But anyways, that's a different story. Yeah, twice a week, and yeah, he would be pretty consistent. He'd eat 2 or 3 of those silver sides. I just know that he had a bacterial infection, and that's what killed him. So and it just makes me wonder how he got it, and I wonder if it's from the food. So yeah, a couple times a week. That's what I did. And then if they don't eat it, say I don't let the fish just float around the tank. I mean, your other fish might pick at it and stuff, but yeah. So I know on my new eel, I'm going to try to feed him the food that I feed the fish, not just silver sides. I'm trying to mix it up and get a little bit more of a variety in his diet than just those mass-produced frozen fish at the pet store, which can't be that great for him. So yeah. Do your radions put off a lot of heat? I'm thinking about putting 2 radions under my T8 bulbs, ATI sun power. Oh, they can. I mean, in the canopy, I do have pretty good flow going through there. I got 4 pretty large fans. I don't remember exactly what the diameter on those are, but they're pretty large. And they do put off quite a bit of heat. And there's definitely a temperature difference when I have the hood closed for sure. So even with the fan. So again, but I do have 8. I do have 8 T5 bulbs in there as well. So there's that heat is contributing to it. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing crazy. I mean, they put off heat, but it's I mean, T5 bulbs and obviously T8 bulbs are going to put out more heat than what the LEDs will, or the radions. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. Just make sure you have enough airflow and it's not just going to sit there and roast in itself. Hey, what's the lighting on the 300 schedule? I have a video on that, buddy. You just got to go into the 300-gallon playlist. I have all that information right there. I was going to pull it up now, but I just don't have time for that. Let me see if there's any other questions that we got here. Just curious, what par do you have your light set at? Not sure if you answered this question before. I have a video on that as well in the 300-gallon playlist. I did all the par numbers on this tank when I set it up, so you're gonna have to check that out. I wish I can go through it now, but yeah, can't do that. Okay, I think we're good. I checked my calibration on the refractometer every single time. Test solution is cheap. It takes 2 seconds. Yeah, that's a good idea. Brief and chill. It doesn't hurt to make sure it's calibrated before. I mean, just to be safe. I think we're good, guys. I think I mean, there might be some more stuff coming in, but I think we're good. Do, do, do. Clam's not dead. They have filler tubes sticking out. So if it's not dead, I mean, your puffer will get around to it at some point, I'm sure. I wouldn't worry about it. As long as it's not dead and it doesn't have the potential of rotting in the tank, I think you're fine. What is the biggest regret in the 300 with the 300? Okay, I can go on this forever. The first thing about the 300 is that it's a cutting tank. So when I built this system, I knew that I was going to sell coral out of it. I knew its whole purpose was to grow coral and to sell it. Now the downside to that is it never became what I wanted it to become. I never had all the colonies growing off the surface of the water or touching the glass all the way around like I would want to. It just never turned into that because I always had to trim colonies early, not only for frags, but I had to trim them so they wouldn't kill other colonies so I could make sure I didn't lose that colony so I could sell it later on. Again, I knew when I set this tank up, it was going to be strictly for cutting coral. That's why it doesn't look that great now. If you guys look at the update I put up a couple weeks ago or whatever, the tank really doesn't look that great because I'm always cutting it. I mean, that's its purpose. That's its whole. I mean, of course, it's for the fish and everything, but its main job is to supply frags for the business. That's it. And then we're growing frags out in tiles and all sorts of stuff. But I regret having it be part of the business. At some point, I would love to not have a display tank be part of the business. Now, at the new house, this 300 gallon will go into the wall on the first floor, and we'll have the 1,000 downstairs. They will be attached. And I want to say, I'm just going to say this. I want to say that I will not cut that tank as much as I do now. And let it grow out and let it become something beautiful. I say that now, but I just have a feeling I probably wouldn't let that happen to a certain extent. But yeah, so that's one of my main regrets is making it part of the business because I never actually got to enjoy the tank, and I still don't really enjoy it. When I look at the tank, I look at I gotta cut this to sell this and to grow this and to keep up with inventory. That's how I look at it now. It really serves only that purpose, and unfortunately, that's just kind of sucks. It sucks. Other than that, the only other regret that I have for the 300 is not quarantining that Lobo long enough. I had it in there for over 30 days, and I still got the verminted snails from it. And yeah, that's my only other regret. And the only way to fix that in the future is to quarantine longer and be a little bit more strict about observing things. Just because you don't see them on the base, it doesn't mean they're not actually there waiting to pop up later. So I'm really sucks. It really does. So I think that's it. Where do I buy my corals? Well, I buy my corals locally or I buy them wholesale and then I quarantine them and then grow them out on disc from there. I don't import coral anymore. Well, I used to. I just don't have the room right now and I don't have the employees to sustain that part of the business. So I just stick with what I can grow in house. I'm going to answer one more question and then we're going to head out. Any advice for putting another angel with adult emperor angel? I don't know anything about angelfish. I never had one and I can't help you on that. I would say if they're anything like tangs, make sure they're around the same size and maybe that will help with the aggression. So that's pretty much it, guys. Yeah. Yeah, that's it, guys. That's it for the live stream. I'm going to go hang out with Alex for about an hour or so, fix his situation, and I will see you guys next Thursday. And stay tuned tonight. There will be that video. It will upload here once I finish it. Okay. And yeah, hope you guys have a good weekend, a good week. I'll see you next week. And again, if you want to support the channel, head over to fishofhex.com. Use the promo code LIVE39 for 10% off your order. Okay. Appreciate it. Peace.